everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of The Trigger. I'm your host, Zachary Clark, and you all know my co-host, Adam Berman. Adam, how are you doing tonight?
Doing swell.
Swell indeed on this coming up on Sunday, the anniversary of our nation's birth.
Yes. No more kings.
No more, well, only one king.
Yes.
No king but Christ! Solus Christus!
Hashtag Christ is king.
That's right, Christ is king. Not man. Silly Israelites, Hebrews rejecting the Lord their God and demanding of their judge to anoint a human king.
Yes.
Grave betrayal.
How you get Ahab.
100%. Yeah. I learned a lot reading the Old Testament as an adult that I did not pick up as a child.
Yes.
I feel like I've got some more life context.
I think that's it.
I'm like, wait. This has parallels to the other thing that I've experienced now that I've been alive for more than like 5 years or whatever.
Yeah, especially when you run through like Ecclesiastes.
Me and Molly were reading through the whole Sheboingo in order for a while there. She got me off it. We started reading Aesop's Fables instead here recently.
It's fun.
A little more bite-sized to read a 2-page fable than to read like a 40-chapter history of
the size of the tabernacle.
Yeah. I don't know. It's fun in its own regard. Oh,
yeah.
Right.
Fire and killing animals and fire and killing more animals. And
not only
swords.
that, also bread.
Yes.
Killing bread.
Yeah.
Sacrificed in the temple.
Also, you learn how to get a princess as your wife.
Did you just steal them off of a rooftop and then send their husband to die in war?
No, you think that's the guy who got the princess. I'm talking about how he convinced Saul to let him have his daughter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If you know, you know.
And if you don't know, now you know. Also, coming to you live from the very heart of the ocean that is ablaze with man's own hubris.
It's great. Aesop's Fables.
Yeah, people don't learn them anymore. Those are just for kids. Just like Old Testament. You ever read Aesop's Fables as a grown-up? You're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Noah's Ark? That's about the guy who went in a boat with animals. It's like, oh, no.
Oh, so many lessons.
The thing that I kind of reiterated in my mind, like the other day, I was thinking about, who was it? Was it Lot? Who was convinced, who was asking about, was it Sodom and Gomorrah? When he's like pleading with God about like, don't kill, don't destroy this. Was it Abraham?
Pled with God to spare Sodom and Gomorrah because he knew that like, his son.
If there's 50,
was there?
Yeah, he's like, if there's right. Okay, whatever. Yes. And he's like, if there's 50, please spare it. He's like, if there's 50, I will spare it.
Well, 50, if there's 50, that's fine, God. But what about if there's like 25? Hey, if there's 25, that's not far away from 50.
And he's like, okay, if there's that, I'll do it. And as a kid, I'm like, oh, look, he's a forgiving God. He's a loving God. If there's just one person, he'll spare it. But the thing is, you know, from the God mind, he knew there wasn't any.
Well, as soon as he sent Lot and them out, and they were the only righteous people in the city. That's the thing that I got out of it. It's like, Now there aren't any in there, and God's just like, hey, Abraham. Don't try to bargain with the Lord.
No.
But Lot was spared, which was the ultimate thing that Abraham was after from the thing anyway.
Yeah.
Even though
Anyways.
I don't know to what good ends with the whole incest and whatever.
Well, that's another topic.
Yeah, but it led into that. Spared, alright? I don't know. Now you can try to draw the lines. God's plan, right? God knew everything that was going to happen from the get-go, and so he's talking to Abraham because the negotiation Abraham was doing, and then the story later told about it, has a certain impact or what have you. But part of that was sparing Lot so that his wife would have to turn back and then through her unfaithfulness face that punishment. But then Lot and his daughters fall into whatever ruin that they had in the end anyway.
Yeah.
So, hey, just think about that next time you think, oh, my life's so hard because I have to go to a job and work where I have to pretend that I'm not who I really am for the day, but then I can just let go afterwards. I'm so unique. No one else suffers this at all ever. It's only something that I go through.
Oh my gosh. I've been hearing that since, let's see, how old was my dad when?
Hey, it's like, I was just talking to my wife about this, and we'll get into it later, but the title of the show tonight is Unapologetically Insane. And,
Oh. Stay away from the water.
and, that's it. I'm like on the edge of that, like every day of my life. It's just like, is today the day I'm just gonna go over the edge and just be like, nope, all the filters are coming off, friends. It's time to see who Zach really is today. Not today. Yeah, we're just gonna between the lines, buddy.
You got another like 3 or 4 years.
Until I win the lottery.
Oh no.
Then you'll all see. You'll see what I do with the winnings. That's what you'd see, Adam. Oh,
okay. Cool. I'm looking forward to it.
You know what else I'm looking forward to? This story from the Scanner Radio. Wasn't much on the scanner, but I did find this one story very nice. Earlier, Rosebud, Missouri, a woman reported an armadillo harassing her dog in her backyard. Gasconade County Sheriff's Department responded. I don't know what aspect it is. Armadillos aren't very common up here. One. So
I didn't know they were up here at all.
It's interesting, right? The armored possum, as some people refer to it. But the armadillo was attacking and harassing this woman's dog, which is like strange. So I'm missing small dog, yippy dog, being harassed by the armored possum. But then, because she was so distressed that she had to call the sheriff's department.
Yeah.
And the sheriff's department had to come out to take care of an aggressive armored possum that was harassing a lady's dog.
Just get your pellet gun out or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I would imagine. I don't know, because I have deep-seated biases. So this might be incorrect, but my assumption from people from Missouri, outside of like the metropolitan area of St. Louis and Kansas City, is that there are a bunch of hillbillies with like shotguns and stuff. So I would have thought that this lady probably could take care of business. She's living in Rosebud.
Yeah, I agree.
Apparently not. Missouri, you're not living up to your stereotypes with this. And frankly, I'm disappointed. But that was the only thing that was really good. I think fight season was taking a hiatus because of the monsoon we've been having.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good guess.
It's been torrentially raining. Not as bad as in some places in the Midwest and even in our own great state. There's been torrential rains, flooding all sorts of places. I think that we've got like 12 inches or something in the last week, though, in the Gem City itself.
Yeah,
But
it's insane.
my old rain gauge is correct. Hard to say. But because fight season, of course, as we know, continues through the summer, I did want to show everyone this video on this helpful hint for dealing with some violent situations. This is lesson for the day. A Navy SEAL demonstrates knife defense, totally unarmed. This is the best defensive tactic if you're attacked by someone with a knife. And play.
What's up, guys? Mr. Obnoxious, Special Forces Navy SEAL Ranger here to show you a couple knife defenses. One in particular. Now, I'm just going to go full speed on this. So pay attention and hope you learn something. Go ahead. What's up, guys? Mr. Obnoxious.
Works every time.
No, that's exactly what you're supposed to do.
That is exactly what you're supposed to do. A guy with
Don't
a knife,
engage.
you're going to get cut up. Don't
Yeah.
engage, friends. People think they're tough. I can totally disarm a guy with a knife. I've got special training.
Even if you're like
Cut to
concealed
ribbons.
carry and you're close enough, you you might not be far enough away. You know, you gotta
Yeah.
stop that dude running.
What is it? They say it's like 15 feet or something, and you wouldn't be able
It's-
to draw your gun and get a shot off fast enough before you're cut to ribbons.
Yeah, it's like it's closer than you'd think.
Further than you'd think.
Further away, yeah.
Yeah. If it was closer than you'd think, you'd be like, what? They have to be like sitting in my lap?
That's danger, ultimate danger zone.
Ultimate danger zone.
Because you should be dead by then, and he's just playing with you.
Cruel. Oh, cruel. It reminds me of a horror movie I saw. Wolf. Wait, is it? Wolf Creek? Sounds right. But the spoilers. The killer in the movie stabbed a lady and like severed her spine using like a Bowie knife, so that she was like just like a quad, but like completely conscious in life, so that he could torment her. It's haunted me to this day, Adam. Just like
That sounds like
thinking
messed
about
up. That sounds messed up.
it. Yeah, well, you triggered me. The knife man
like
was
the-
just toying with the guy, and I'm like,
Yeah, I don't know.
oh, I remember from the movie I saw that I can't unforget.
Who comes up with that stuff? Some sickos.
Yeah, probably. We're all of us, including the president of China. President of China. I don't remember if this was some rabble rousing about Taiwan or something, but he went on the old TV there. I think it was part of the 100-year anniversary or
Oh,
something.
Yeah, give me a break.
The
It's 100 years
communism.
of Communist Party of China.
Yeah, something like that. So he's like, oh, we're great, we're China. And then like CNN's like, hey, China, it's cool, man. Look, they've been communism for 100 years.
That's not accurate. But whatever.
What's not accurate about it? It seems pretty accurate. It's on the news, Adam. I read it on CNN.
Sorry, I interrupted you. Sorry.
Chairman Xi,
Oh.
Winnie the Pooh Bear himself. Quote, the Chinese people will never allow any outside force to bully, oppress, or subjugate us. Anyone who attempts to do so will be battered before the Iron Gate Great Wall built with the flesh and blood of over 1.4 billion Chinese people. Oh my God.
It's completely unhinged. Why is it 1.4 billion?
It's also based, but
Oh,
regardless.
it's the okay. I thought he was saying that it cost the human lives of 1.4 billion to not.
You will have to break. If you, the wave of aggression,
Yes.
wish to conquer or bully China, the wave of oppression will break against the bodies of the Chinese people that will create an iron wall, an iron great wall of humanity of 1.4 billion strong.
Nope. Nope. How did Hong Kong the one
Don't
number
quit,
one? There's Hong Kong existed.
quit challenging the
Uh,
propaganda.
Boxer Rebellion. There's two. There's the Opium Wars, which kind of float in between those.
That was the past.
Uh,
That was before the Glorious Revolution, my friend.
okay, how about this one? Well, the Sino-Japanese War, aka World War II. The Japanese, the Imperial Japanese are still inflicting harm on them. How 70 years later, whatever the
It's
math checks out,
that's natural. That plague is natural.
it's
The
just
bu-
naturally
The
manufactured.
bubonic
It was,
plague that spreads in parts of
it
China
was-
to this day.
yeah, from the virology lab in Tokyo or
Yeah.
whatever. Gosh, it was fleas. They had flea bombs.
I know. Well, I
Are we-
don't. Adam,
what are we?
my
Could you imagine that? Like you fly up in your Zeros and whatnot, and you're just like, "Oh, we're gonna bomb these guys." Like, "Oh no, there's no incendiaries on these." You're like, "What? What is the point of this?" And like, "No, it's fleas." What? What is this? Is this a cartoon?
it's
like no,
plague fleas.
It's plague fleas. Trust me.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
I don't know. Based on what I know about China, they probably aren't willing to admit that Japan ever conquered them, or that they suffer any negative impacts of anything.
They have gotten kicked around by like everyone.
Yeah, the Chinese, they are just the East Asia's punching bag for the most part. But now they got a chip on their shoulder now, buddy.
It's weird too, because like even Mongolia, right? They're like the Mongolians, and they're like, we are China now. It's like they're just Mongolians.
Yeah, but they were China. They conquered China,
Yeah. Well, they also conquered Russia.
and they
once
conquered.
again,
They
like,
conquered a lot
we're
of things.
also
They conquered a
we're
lot
also
of
Russia.
We are Russia now. we are all of Asia, basically.
Pretty much.
Oh. But the United States, has some work to do if they want to if we want to maintain our hold as a superpower. With all this spicy rhetoric, I wonder what we're doing to like rev up the engines of our guys, our GIs, or in our GI Janes, and
Yeah.
and how they're
Stealth fighters and stealth warships.
Yeah. What do we? Let's see.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
take a quick
Cyber.
Oh,
Oh, wait.
no. Meanwhile,
What? I
at
see-
the Imperial
I see U.S.
Center,
Air Force.
U.S. Air
Oh.
Force Base hosts drag show to demonstrate commitment to diversity and inclusion.
Oh.
Chairman Xi is talking about its enemies breaking against the Iron Great Wall built from the very mass of humanity that China has. But we will battle them with our diversity and inclusion as demonstrated through degenerate drag shows on Air Force bases.
Wait. What if it's Galaxy Brain? Men dressed up as women beating the Chinese government.
Oh, it's like
Further humiliation.
the ultimate slap in the face. That's right.
And the slap goes like that.
We will send in special forces composed entirely of drag queens. And best part, we'll create a reality show like RuPaul's Drag Race, where we select the baddest MFers in drag, highly trained in special ops,
Yeah.
and drop them behind enemy lines, and the camera crews will follow them.
Oh, this sounds incredibly dystopian.
I feel like a lot of people would watch that show, though.
That feeds into my dystopian fantasy there.
Hey, it's not Adam. It's not like we live in a dystopia. It's not like the very ocean itself has caught fire.
How could that happen? Oh,
Oh, wait.
that's an interesting picture from space.
Oh, that's a helicopter engine. It looks like molten lava erupting from the center of the earth.
It is the beast arising from the sea.
Ah! It's just like roiling under the waves.
Oh. Well, I wonder what kaiju is coming out of there.
Apparently, it's just oil. Pipeline ruptured. Caught fire. I don't know how it burns under the water like that, but it is.
Yeah, I know.
It is happening. But don't worry, guys, because we know how to fight this. If the fire is happening, you must put water on it. But that makes much less sense if the fire is underwater. But don't let that stop us. We'll put it out, guys.
It's their SOP, you know? This is what we gotta do.
Put more water on it. That'll show this underwater fire. It needs more
insane.
water.
It looks like it's boiling.
It does. It is pretty wicked. I forgot that this was the comment. This was the comment on this clip. Be careful, kids. You're not a prude. It's just good character. Speaking of people who aren't prudes.
Oh, Zach. Oh,
you may have heard. Bill Cosby was released from prison, charges dismissed, and case thrown out. Can't bring charges again. There was some hinky shenanigans that apparently was happening during the lead up to his criminal trial that we can get into. But big news of the week that Bill Cosby got out of jail. People were very upset about this. I think that mostly it got even more traction because at the exact same time there was a big push on social media to free Britney. Apparently. And I don't know all the details about this because I don't know. I don't care about celebrities. But Britney Spears has a conservatorship where her father and I believe a trust are co-conservators over her estate. Like her not of her person, but just of her property, etc., etc. And that's like her estate's valued at like $20 million. And the claim is that her father is abusing his position as conservator to enrich himself and all these sorts of things. And I don't know anything about that. But there's big things. Like there was a hearing and stuff, and Britney gave some sort of impassioned testimony, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I heard a little bit about it, or I heard a little bit of it.
Yeah.
She gave testimony. She gave like firsthand account. She gave her speech on how it's like what you said. It's basically like her. There's weird stuff with like contracts. I mean, I don't know enough about the case. It seems that she's working essentially to pay for like these higher services, and she's like a cash cow for some stuff. Is what it comes down to.
Yeah. But I don't know, because there's different stories, and I'm sure her dad tells a different story about how the thing goes down. Whatever.
I don't have I don't know what's in the record. I can't read that,
Yeah.
I don't know what the law says.
But some people did did get with the spicy beams because it was like, free Britney on! There's this big hearing on, the court's finally going to release her, but I think it was the same day that the Cosby news dropped, there was also news that a judge had ruled against Britney's in some other case. Anyway, it wasn't specifically related, but people took it to say that she wasn't freed of the oppressive conservatorship. And social media, free Britney. American justice system, and it's the Pawn Stars guy. Best I can do is free Bill Cosby.
those when those are good, those are good. Like
that was pretty good.
yeah, reminds me of the JoJo meme. The one that JoJo, the prior the 2020 Libertarian candidate. It's like,
Yes.
18-year-old. So we want this, and this. It's like, best I can do is war.
Well, it's 100% true because, yeah, that was the deal. It was when Biden was having his issues with, like, he wasn't doing the student loan forgiveness or the new stimulus and all this other stuff, and instead he bombed Syria or what have you.
Yeah.
But the Britney Spears thing, for those of you who are interested, for the legal take, the procedural posture of the case was that there was a motion made by Britney's lawyers to have the trust that is a co-conservator with her father become the sole conservator of her estate and have her father removed as conservator so that he would be out of the picture. Separate apart from the issue of terminating the conservatorship altogether, which is also one of the issues in the case, which hasn't been decided yet. And I think that was part of the testimony at the hearing, but I'm not entirely sure. This is the way the process works.
Oh, this might be for another time, but like, I wonder who pays for her attorneys. Like,
Probably the
she's not.
conservatorship.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean,
Her estate
they would have
for
to,
$20
right?
million or whatever.
They have to pay.
Yeah,
right?
the court probably ordered court fees paid out of it or what have you.
Well, like for her, because there's like the trust would have its own attorneys. The dad would have his own attorneys,
Right.
and she would have her own attorneys.
Yes. And to the extent that, I mean, I don't know exactly how it works with conservatorships, but to the extent it's related to and protecting the estate of the person that you're the conservator of, you can pay for those expenses out of it. And so her dad and the trust could both be paying their own legal expenses as well as hers out of whatever assets are in her estate.
Right, but they would. What I'm getting at from her side, she'd you need like permission for her to get, like, right or no?
Yeah, they all. Well, I mean, I don't know. I imagine in a sticky situation like that, you would probably get an order from the court authorizing the payments and this that.
Right, CYA.
Yeah, because you don't want some. I mean, I don't know. Because some people like to do it differently and just fly by the seat of their pants or what have you when you're in these fiduciary relationships and not get court approval for some reason. But it's oftentimes.
No, the high-profile case like that, you're not going to do that.
Yeah, it's oftentimes just worth the filing fees to have the court say, yeah, it's good, and then no one can say you did something wrong later. The Bill Cosby situation was interesting, though. We had people very upset. All sorts of people were very angry about Bill Cosby getting out of jail because he was in their mind, horrifying rapist. And this one person says, Bill Cosby is being released because the white supremacist culture of white women falsely accusing black men of rape is a travesty of justice, and it minimizes real cases.
Oh, is that Tariq?
It is Tariq.
Oh,
Tariq Nasheed himself. And I thought it was weird, but I mean, I don't know. All the CRT stuff always has to tie everything back to the white devil, so it wasn't too shocking. But I couldn't quite draw the lines, particularly because of I spent 5 minutes reading summaries of the court opinion and skimming it, and so I had a gist of what was going on, and I'm like, this sounds very strange indeed. But basically, it's like this. The prosecutors of Bill Cosby back in 2005 heard about the situation. And they said, Bill Cosby drugged a woman? Raped her when she was unconscious? Oh my gosh, this is horrible. We should get him for it. Let's examine the facts of the case. And so then they heard the facts of the case, which involved a woman who had a long-term relationship with Bill Cosby, and it was not sexual in any way, according to her. And eventually, situation happened. She was over at his house. She was given pills. She voluntarily took the pills. And then a sexual encounter happened that may have been when she was unconscious. And then afterwards, there was some awkwardness, but they continued to be friends or have some sort of social relationship, and she continued it for a number of years before she brought accusations and filed police reports, etc., etc. And the prosecutor made the decision that, based on all the facts and circumstances surrounding the case, that it wouldn't be likely to be able to convict Bill Cosby of that crime. But they didn't want to tie the hands of the victim in civil court. See, in a criminal court, you have to prove somebody guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And I don't know you can't further define that, but let's just say it's a higher standard than you'd have to meet if you're suing somebody for damages. Like if you said they raped you and you wanted to get them to pay for your pain and suffering and your trauma and all that stuff. But if you have the civil cases predicated on something that could be criminal conduct, the defendant, the person that you're accusing of harming you, has protection against testifying where that testimony could be used to prosecute them for a crime. All right, following so far. If you have a claim against somebody and it's something that could be a crime if charged by the state, they can say, Fifth Amendment says I don't have to testify about this because it could lead to my prosecution. But the state can grant you immunity or say that you can't be charged on crimes. And so now if you testify about a thing, it cannot lead to your self-incrimination because crimination isn't on the table anymore. And then you can be forced to testify at court or in depositions in the civil trial about the bad stuff you did when you hurt the lady. And so the prosecutor said, all right, we'll just say immunity. Bill Cosby won't be prosecuted on any of these alleged crimes. And that way he can be forced to give testimony in the civil trial. And then this lady will be able to get some sort of recovery and closure on the bad thing. Sounds all good. Except that the civil case went on for a good decade. And they finally settled in 2016. Something like this. And in the course of the civil trial, Bill Cosby did in fact give testimony. He gave deposition testimony about his relationships with this woman, and including confirming the sexual encounters that she described, but describing them from a different perspective. But regardless, basically, he did confirm that he was drugging women. The question was whether or not it was consensual and all this other stuff that we don't need to get into, because it doesn't matter. The trouble is that after he did that, the state said, hey, take backsies. You know when we said that you were immune from prosecution? We didn't mean it. It wasn't in writing. You don't get that anymore. But guess what? Because you testified and you said this stuff that incriminates you, we can use that in your trial. And the court's like, I'll allow it. And they convicted Bill Cosby using testimony that they couldn't have got had they not granted him immunity prior to the civil case wherein he was forced to testify. And the Pennsylvania Supreme Court basically said that because you said he had immunity, and that was the grounds for which the civil case was prosecuted, and his testimony was elicited, that was a valid grant of immunity, and you cannot prosecute Bill Cosby. And the prosecution that you did engage in against him was invalid, and you can't do that, and it's all over. You can't prosecute him for these things. You already said he was immune. Throwing it out, case dismissed.
Yeah.
The one thing that I think might just drive them buck wild over the edge is the civil suit of Bill Cosby versus the state of Pennsylvania. That's what I was thinking. Bill Cosby, civil suit against the state for this malicious prosecution.
Oh, absolutely.
And he could get like millions. He's been in prison for a little while now.
Yeah.
He could get like millions of dollars. Even though he's basically a confirmed rapist.
Yeah, wasn't there some like ACLU saying or something where one unjustified day in prison is like irreparable harm to your client?
100%. So I don't know, man. I think that I don't know. If I'm Bill Cosby, I'd probably just like, wash my hands of the whole thing and be like, okay, so glad this is over. I don't need to be in the spotlight or in the public eye ever again in my life and be fine with that. Because, I don't know. I don't know all of the stuff that Bill Cosby's done in his entire life, but it might be entirely possible that there could be charges trumped up, if not in Pennsylvania, in a different state. I don't know. He's probably spent time in places like California and New York. And the federal government could just say, hey, this outrage has really sparked some stuff, so how about we cash in for some political capital and prosecute bad guy?
Yeah.
So, who knows? Who knows how it'll shake out. But I just wanted to give everybody my lawyerly 2 cents on the Bill Cosby situation, since it was apparently a giant controversy. Similarly, controversies abound. Apparently, women just aren't really that good at anything. You may have heard, but breaking news. Breaking news. A transgender woman wins Miss Nevada USA pageant, making history. The first Miss USA pageant contestant who is a transgendered woman will be competing this year, representing the great state of Nevada. I don't know if anything else needs to be said on that.
I don't know. It pretty much sums it up.
Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you.
Oh, Zach. No.
No, you can't. Yeah, I can. Look. Mr. Brad.
I just wanna miss you.
But that wasn't the only thing that was controversial. Not the only thing. Not the only other thing that was controversial. But additionally, apparently, people are going buck wild transitioning into Koreans.
Solid people invented Taekwondo.
Yeah, Ollie London is
and K-pop.
Is apparently transitioning, and this is his transition story and how he became Korean. And becomes Korean means that he has had plastic surgery done on his face here, dyed his hair, and I believe that is it. but he was transitioning into a Korean, and people were having none of it. You can't just
They're having all of it.
huh?
You having none of it, or having all of it.
People were saying that you can't just you're not a Korean man. You can't just become one because you have some plastic surgery. You can't just become another race. There's so much that goes into that, man. A little plastic surgery doesn't make you into another race. There's a difference between cultural appropriation and cultural appreciation. I respect you being non-binary and using they, them pronouns, but it's not okay to identify as another race. I know a lot of white people trying to identify as being black, but in the end, they are white. So apparently, it's not okay to have plastic surgery and then call yourself a different race or identify as a different race after that. It's like a permanent blackface. You can't just go full Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder and have pigmentation like injected into your flesh and then live your life as a black guy. That's inappropriate. You can't just transition into a race, man. You're not that race. You can't become it, no matter how much you identify as it. Schadenfreude. But just hearing stories like that and seeing the kind of people who are vehemently opposed to that gentleman's transition, but vehemently in support of other people's transitions? I don't know. All I need in life is a little logical consistency. Otherwise, I am just going to go over the edge. As discussed. And I'm tired of working on myself. I will now be unapologetically insane. Yeah. I'm really, this close. This close. One of these days. There's just too many things. Oceans on fire. White guys turning into Koreans. People who were once men transitioning into women and winning beauty contests. The Chinese president talking about how he's going to
stake out the 100-acre wood.
Yeah. He's going to get that honey. Nothing's going to stop that guy. I see the look in his eyes. But not only all that, it's just the entire world feels like it's set on a pile of corruption. It's just so terrible. And I came across this, and I don't know, because I don't know anything, really. But, Adam, what are the three branches of government?
Oh, that's easy. It's the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's the Schoolhouse Rock, the three-ring circus thing. They have the judges to interpret the law, the legislature who makes the law, makes the law, and then the executive who enforces the law.
That's not even close, right? Everyone knows that the first, and this is what I got. I knew what the first two branches are, but I had to have a little bit of help on what the third one is. But the first two branches are corporations and pedophiles.
Oh, no.
The third branch was giving me fits. I couldn't quite figure it out. But see. Yeah. Then the Daddy War Pig reminded me that obviously it's Satanists.
Dude, that's true.
And I mean, I don't know, because some people says the pedophile thing is a conspiracy, but Dennis Hassert was in Congress for like decades.
Yeah, dude. What's the? Yeah, there's the Finders thing that dropped like a year and a half ago. The FBI just dumped all their files on it. Oh, yeah.
I don't know, buck wild insane. And then that led me to this. What was it? Oh, I don't know what that was. But it was this. People keep acting like the conspiracy part of QAnon is the cabal of satanic pedophiles. Like, yeah, there's not a cabal of satanic pedophiles, but that's the true part. The conspiracy is that the secret group that's coming to save the world is out there. No one's saving the world. The cabal of satanic pedophiles that are the head of corporations and the government is out there. And it's winning.
No. Zero proof. Zero proof.
That's just a conspiracy, man.
There's no evidence about high profile people in Hollywood and government or business and sex crimes.
Yeah, there was recently a very high profile person.
Dude, Allison Mack. Also, she got sentenced this past week.
Arrested and uncovered.
She got only 3 years for sex trafficking.
Billionaires connected with trafficking
Oh my
young
gosh.
girls as young as 14 and forcing them to have sex with wealthy aristocrats on private islands, private jets, and New York City mansions. Oh.
Just a conspiracy.
Completely fake. It's not real, Adam. Don't peddle your conspiracies here. I don't want to hear about it. That's fake news. You're going to mislead the people, create a mind virus, and think they can't trust the government. We need them to trust them more than ever right now so that we can fight and destroy the coronavirus. Which is a thing that is going to happen for reals. But all this stuff really makes me want to return to Monkey. Even more than I want to make Monkey arise. Even though part of me says, if I've got to suffer, monkeys should suffer as well. But I was really pushed one step closer to becoming unapologetically insane when I saw this meme, which had too much truth in it. Chad to Monkey. You're such a dumb animal. Monkey. Don't you have to pay taxes to pedophiles to avoid being thrown into cage and killed? Monkey. Stone-faced. Chad turns into withered Wojak. More and more every day I relate to withered Wojak. He'll become the avatar for all of my
Where are
social
his
media
eyes?
accounts.
He's your Abby.
Yeah, I think his eyes are closed. It's just like they're so like recessed and darkened.
Yeah, I thought they're just not even there. He's so far gone.
Very well.
He just fell out of his sockets.
Monkey, right? We are the ones in the cage, not the monkey. At least we know that our elections are secure and free and well conducted by competent individuals, as we all learned.
Oh, yes. Over and over. It's like every week I hear that. Every few days I hear that. It's weird. Anytime the thought pops up that maybe not, maybe there's something we could improve upon, I'm told, no, we have a really good system in place.
And in fact, anything that you might do, It's probably racist, trying to prevent black people from being able to vote. 100% truth. Spit and fire. Voter ID? Don't you know black people don't have IDs, Adam?
This is always a weird thing. I don't understand that. And I was just also thinking about. Do you remember? Do you remember? I know we featured this on our show. You know, back in I don't know October, or September, or something. But like, do you remember when Trump was stealing all the mailboxes?
Yes, I do recall that, yeah.
Remember that dumb thing?
Yeah.
And that was like that was a conspiracy. Like it was an actual like that's not what was happening. And it's like
that was real. It was the Trump-appointed Postmaster General was removing mailboxes from poor minority neighborhoods to prevent them from being able to send in their mail-in ballots, which they needed to do to be able to participate in democracy and defeat evil fascism, authoritarianism embodied in Donald Trump. You're telling me that's not correct?
Yeah, it was never correct. It was never correct. It was all fake. Fake outrage.
I don't know.
It's a dumb or bad scenario.
Adam, nothing.
People who reported on it was they were either dumb, they didn't know what was going on, or they knew what was going on and misrepresented what was going on.
Nothing could ever lead me to believe that government or the media are incompetent. Breaking news! Breaking news! Breaking news! Election officials in New York City have retracted their latest vote totals for the Democratic primary for mayor. They say 135,000 test ballots were inadvertently included in the count. No.
Why do you need more than like 10 test ballots?
They're doing ranked choice voting, and they do automated runoffs based on rank selection on the ballot. I don't know all of the nitty-gritties, but this is how basically I understand the New York system to work. And they're testing it, I guess, to see if it works, and so they created a number of test ballots, 135,000 to be exact, to run through the system to make sure that it worked correctly in tabulating the winners. So you have all the people that are running for mayor of New York for the Democrats, and then you rank them 1 through 5, whoever you want the most, and whoever you want the least.
Yeah,
and
makes sense.
If no candidate has 50% or more of the vote, then you remove the lowest ranking candidate. All right, so 5th place, all the people who voted for 5th place, they're off. And all their number 2s then count. And so the system will then go through, all right, first vote, nobody had 50%. This person had the least amount. They're eliminated. Second choice is now tabulated. And so the machine will automatically tabulate a second round of voting as if all those people who voted for a 5th place candidate as number 1, they're number 2 candidates. And then it'll go in and then it will recalculate using the 4 candidates that remain.
Right. Well, the number 1 candidate for those, the first choice for those number 5 candidates, they'll move on to like the number 2, and then they'll repopulate with the other ones who are
correct.
Number 1. Okay.
So somebody could get bumped up depending on how it works and moves
right.
on. And New York's election was super close. And eventually, it went through several rounds, and it was down to like the last 2, and there was like 16,000 votes separating them. When they're like, we gotta, there was a mistake. Hold on, guys.
Yeah. The wrong person's about to win.
We gotta do it again. Well, that was the thing. Some people were saying that it was a conspiracy because the the person in the lead, Eric Adams, is a former police captain, anti-defund the police guy, and so they didn't want him. They said that they don't want that guy because it goes against what the Antifa, BLM, defund the police guys are trying to do. He
mentioned he had a couple of comments about the whole thing, and people were getting on him about being like Trump, right? Or no?
There was something like that, because I think Trump did come out in support of him and attacking the integrity of the voting system as one more, notch on the stick about how we have to have secure and reliable voting systems and election systems that people can rely on, so that there isn't seeds of doubt in our democratic institutions, which is true. We've talked about that on here before.
Yeah.
To the extent that people don't think that elections work, there's no reason for them not to take to the street and, build guillotines and gallows and take matters into their own hand, because your government's a sham anyway. And so there's people that are like desperately, I don't know, because it depends on what side of the conspiracy you fall on, Adam. Either they're corrupt, they know the system's corrupt, they're using it and manipulating it to win as a scam, and then they have to lie to you to make you think that it's real and reliable, so that you don't tear down the system that is enriching them, that they've, infiltrated and corrupted, right?
Yeah.
As a narrative that describes the Democrats. Or, other side, it's like, we're corrupted, we legitimately can't win these elections, and so we must manipulate people into thinking that the system is corrupt, so that they tear down the system, so that we profit somehow from the system being torn down. Which one sounds more true? Unless you can explain to me how a conservative Republican would benefit from the government being torn down in revolution. And I'm all ears.
No.
Yeah, you don't know either? I don't know either. I can't piece that puzzle together, my friend. Maybe Ice-T has some wisdom that will help me figure it out. Finishing up our evening as usual with our Ice Cold Fact of the Week, coming to you straight from Ice-T's Twitter account. Ice-T himself, Ice Cold Fact. Everyone does not need to know everything. Say less. And with that, our show comes to its end. If you like the show, subscribe to our channel, like the video, hit that bell, ring-a-ding-ding. You can also follow us on social media. Our Twitter accounts are located right there below our pictures here on the screen. Share the video with all your friends. You know they want to see this content. You know they do. Share it with your friends. Adam and I have been talking. I got a free laser printer from work. We may be creating a print newsletter that we're going to distribute locally. So if you want to get in on the triggered news with a Z, you must move to Quincy and find it wherever it's been distributed. There will be no online vertical.
No.
But that's our show tonight. Adam, did you have anything you'd like to add here at the end of the show?
Just have a safe holiday. Safe and happy holiday. Remember, no more kings, except for one. Christ is king.
Christ is king! Son los Cristos! Alright, folks, have a great evening, and we'll see you next time on Trigger!